And the first step to gluten-free living is to understand what gluten is. Gluten is a protein found in wheat and related grain species. So basically, anything that has flour, wheat flour, so pasta, bread, anything that's good, really. Cupcakes, cake, cookies, all of it has gluten in it. First off, let me introduce my two-dimensional assistant, Clark. He holds things for me. So tip number 2 is to understand that gluten-free food tastes awful. It doesn't taste good. So pasta that's gluten-free, that's made with rice flour, is mushy. The texture's all wrong. The bread is the same way. It leaves an aftertaste in your mouth. It doesn't taste good. And so eating becomes a chore that you do to continue living rather than enjoying. But in order to make gluten-free food taste a little better, we add extras. So extra sugar, extra eggs, and of course, extra chocolate chips. So for example, this gluten-free Betty Crocker cookie mix that Clark is so perfectly holding here for me uses one more egg than the regular Betty Crocker cookie mix. So people that think that gluten-free living is actually healthier are normally wrong because you're intaking more calories than you would be if you were on a whole grain diet. Okay, so tip number 3 is to learn your gluten-free products, and more importantly, learn where they are in the store. A lot of stores have sections that are gluten-free. For example, here at the Stillwater Walmart, the gluten-free section is on the cereal aisle. But it's really important to know what's gluten-free and what's not. For example, peanut butter is naturally gluten-free. Wavy Lays are naturally gluten-free. But also to understand which brands have gluten-free products. So this is one of my favorites. Bisquick has a gluten-free pancake mix, which we add chocolate chips to make it edible. Progressive has several gluten-free soups, and it has a gluten-free tag on it. It says red on the front. Bertolli has a gluten-free Alfredo sauce. In fact, most of their sauces are gluten-free. It doesn't have a tag on it, but if you read the ingredients, it doesn't have wheat flour in it. A lot of pastas that you can get at specialty stores are gluten-free, but you have to be in the gluten-free section, and you definitely have to check. This is one of my favorite. It's called Bakery on Main, and it's gluten-free granola. And then this is the staple for living a gluten-free diet. It is white rice flour. This is the best type of flour that tastes the most like wheat flour. It doesn't taste exactly like wheat flour, and the food still really doesn't taste that good, but it's about the closest that you can get in terms of texture. Lastly, we have my favorite, corn tortillas, and this goes for corn tortilla chips too. These are pretty much what gets me through the day. Okay, so tip number 4 is to find your niche and stick with it. I mentioned earlier that corn tortillas are pretty much what get me through the day, and that's because I can make anything with them. I will put butter on them, I can make turkey wraps, chicken wraps, I can make quesadillas. Pretty much anything that you can make with a flour tortilla, I can make with a corn tortilla. They're a little bit harder to work with because they're often smaller and they flake a little bit, but it's still workable. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to make a tortilla pizza for you. They're really easy. It would be good even if you don't have to live gluten-free. So our ingredients for the gluten-free tortilla pizza would be a corn tortilla, obviously, some pizza sauce, make sure it's gluten-free, just read the ingredient list, some kind of oil. I use olive oil, but you could use canola oil if you wanted. I'm using turkey pepperoni today. You also have to check anytime that you're using pepperoni or salami or anything to make sure that one of the fillers isn't wheat or flour. And this one there's not any wheat. And then cheese. So you begin by putting a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Not very much, just like about a teaspoon or so. And then you kind of spread it around so it's all over the pan. And then you wait for it to heat up a little bit. And after that, you're going to put the tortilla inside of it, on top of it. And the point of doing this to basically make the tortilla kind of crispy, because since it's a corn tortilla, and they often flake, if you make them a little hard, they work a little bit better. So the first thing that I'm going to do is put a little bit of pizza sauce on top of it. I didn't even heat this pizza sauce up because it will heat pretty quickly in the skillet. You spread it around. Okay, so the next thing that you do is you put some shredded cheese on top of it. And already the olive oil is bubbling a little bit, which is just what you want it to do because you want it to make the tortilla crispy. Not too much because you don't want it to pop up and hit you because it would hurt. So I've got some cheese on it now. And so the last thing that I want to put on is some turkey pepperoni. But you could put any topping on it that you want because it heats really quickly. It'd be really quick. So any kind of topping, you can make a supreme pizza, whatever. Okay, and then I kind of press down on it a little bit and move it around to make it crispy and heat a little bit faster. And as soon as kind of the cheese starts to melt, I'm going to put a little bit more on top. So you move the pizza a little bit around in the skillet and it should be sizzling a little. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. And this is honestly one of the best experiments that I have had at cooking gluten-free. You can ask my boyfriend, Clark agrees, it's one of the only edible things I can truly cook. Because, as I said earlier, this is tips for the cooking idiot, and that was definitely me. But on a gluten-free diet, you really can't be a cooking idiot because you're responsible for making food that you can eat. So being gluten-free has forced me to learn how to cook and not just use a microwave. Okay, so I think it's about done. Turn it off. And then, there you go. Tortilla pizza. Okay, tip number 5 is for all of you people out there who are not gluten-free, and that is to be considerate of anybody that has an allergy. Living with an allergy is not easy. It can make you really sick if you eat something that you're not supposed to. And so the holidays are coming up, or you might be making dinner for family. If you have somebody who has an allergy that's in your family, be considerate and try to make something like tortilla pizza for them that they can eat on their own.
Hi, my name's Justin, Aaron's three-dimensional boyfriend. And there's some important things you need to know about when dealing with the gluten challenge. Rule number 1, avoid gluten rage. Let me demonstrate. Hey Aaron, do you want a nice delicious cookie?
Is it gluten-free?
Well, no.